Hey guys, I'm Annie Otoku, and welcome to my review of One Piece, chapter 978. So starting with the cover series, it's continuing the Beiji Oh My Family cover series, and Chiffon and Lola have finally been reunited. To be honest, it's a lot more of a simpler one compared to some other covers that we've seen in this series, but I think this cover series could be coming to an end. So the first scene of the chapter, we see Law's submarine going underwater, and then we see inside the submarine, and it looks like Law's crew are showing the scabbards around. So that's kind of nice, especially after, some of the scabbards were kind of skeptical of Law's crew. And then we basically just see everyone's reaction shots. We see the Minks, the Straw Hats, Old Man Hiyo, and then we get this really nice scene with Kinemon and Denjiro, where Kinemon says something like, "I hope you kept your battle skills up," and Denjiro's kind of like, "Oh, you know I did," and it was really nice. These two have good chemistry, and you can tell they're actually friends. And then we just see Kid and Luffy. Luffy's like, "Oh," and Kid's like grinning, so you get the sense, that they're kind of like prepared for this battle. I am starting to wonder, maybe it's going to be a group battle with Kaido, so maybe it's going to be like Kid, Luffy, and Law, and who knows, maybe even Kinemon will join them. Next, we get this gorgeous picture of Onigashima. We can see a giant sword in the background, which that was the first thing that my eye kind of got drawn to, and I'm wondering if one of those like monsters that we saw in the previous chapter uses it, or maybe Kaido, because he's big, but I doubt that. We know he doesn't use a sword. There's obviously a skull, which we already knew about. There's like an umbrella, and you can tell it's very Japanesey because it's got the cherry blossoms at the side and like all these Japanese statues and stuff. It was a really beautifully drawn scene, and I had to linger on it for at least 2 minutes. Next, there's this really nice scene with Usopp where now these guards getting drunk, and a couple of people are like, "Oh no, some guards," and Usopp just shoots a pop grenade at them and they fall asleep. And it's really nice because it shows he's reliable, but also he doesn't even take credit for it. I'm pretty sure one of the other people goes, "Oh wait, I thought I saw some guys over there, but now they're asleep." And Usopp's just like, "Haha, oh, are they?" So it's really nice. It shows that he's reliable and not just did it for like the clout or whatever. I don't think anyone ever really thought Usopp was doing it for that reason, but it's a nice scene. Next, we get a bit of an overreaction from Kinemon and the rest of the samurai, because they drowned all the boats. And I'm just saying, that's a bit of an overreaction. Like, I know the boats would have, led to you being caught if Kaido saw them or whatever, but surely you could have just hid them or parked really far away from Onigashima. But nope, they drowned them, or sink them, I should say. You can't drown a boat. And, yeah. The reasoning for this is basically, well, you're either gonna win or die. There's no retreating, but what if you do win? Then you're just stuck on Onigashima for the rest of your life. You can't all fit on the Sunny. Speaking of which, we get this small scene where Usopp's like, "Wait, do we have to do that to the Sunny?" And Frankie's like, "Not over my dead body." I found it pretty comical, even though it was just a small scene. Don't get me wrong, I like the flashback with Oden, but I don't know, I did miss the Straw Hats, and I'm glad we're back with them now. Next, everyone, thanks to the help of Kinemon's fruit, all start to wear Kaido's men's uniform. And I honestly like the uniform that the Beast Pirates wear. I think it's quite cool, and it honestly suits the Straw Hats, kind of. Now, I don't really see the point in disguises when Luffy, Kid, Zoro, and all the rest of them are just going to bust through the front gate anyway. And Kinemon even kind of mentions that. He's like, "Look, I know you guys are just going to attack it in the way you see fit, but please try and make use of the disguises." But yeah, I think they look very cool. Next, we cut to the actual party, and we see Apu again. Now, he's being a DJ for the party. It's only one panel, but I guess it's cool to see him again. I hear he gets a lot of hate, but I actually liked him. I mean, Basil Hawkins already confirmed that, he betrayed them and was working for Kaido, so we expected him to be here, but, it's cool to finally get some validation for that. So Queen is doing this whole big speech and into the microphone, and everyone's cheering and celebrating. It actually seems like kind of a nice atmosphere, if Orochi and Kaido weren't running it. But so we actually get this really nice double page spread of everyone shouting funky and just drinking and being like, "Yay, Queen!" And it's basically just a giant party. So anyway, Queen's basically calling out for everyone. He's like, where are my waiters? Where are my pleasures? You know, being like, and then they'll obviously all cheer. And it's like, I don't know, it's like if you go to the pantomime or something and they're like, hey, where are my hip-hop lovers? Or something like that. I don't really know. It's kind of a weird vibe, but you know, it's cool. And then when he calls to the Toby Ropu, nobody answers, and he's just like, we all know them stuffed shirts would never come here, or whatever. So, you know, you get the sense that since they're basically the highest ranked other than the All-Stars, so you get the sense that maybe there's a little bit of jealousy between the lower ranks of being like, oh, you think you're so high and mighty. You know, it's weird that wouldn't be of like the All-Stars, like King, Queen, and Jack, but yeah. In the very next scene, we then get to meet the Toby Ropu. We already obviously knew X-Drake, but the first one we get to meet is a gal called Ulti. She seems very angry at Queen for insulting them, and, you know, maybe she has a right to be, I don't know really, but according to the others, you know, this happens quite a bit. She gets angry at stuff, and she's also Page One's sister. So the next one we see is Page 1, and I honestly forgot we had already met him, well, his dinosaur form, but yeah, he had a 5 Stanji. He seems to just be a little bit annoyed at his sister, and it makes sense, you know, her constantly getting angry, if that really is how she acts. But yeah, this is the first time we're getting to see his human form, and it's very cool. I like the purple hair, the hat with the spikes, and the mask. I don't know why so many of them are wearing masks, but yeah, it's very cool. The next one we meet is Who's Who. The best way I can describe him is like a biker dad, I guess. He definitely seems like the type of guy to be in a biker gang and cause trouble around the town, you know. He's got the cigarette and he just gives me that impression. But he also seems very old and experienced because his first like introductory sentence is, oh, you little brats are so annoying. So he might be the oldest member. He could be close to 40, 50 maybe. But yeah, he gives me that kind of vibe. The next one is a lady called Black Maria, and she is giant. I'm not sure if she's an actual giant or just a really tall person, but she kind of gives me the vibes of like a seductive witch lady. She's, you know, smoking on the thingy. She's very tall. She's got the devil horns, and yeah. Her opening line is, oh, I love Uti when she snaps at everyone. So she could also be a bit of a Doflamingo character where she just loves watching all the chaos. We've already met X-Drake, but here he just seems a bit annoyed. I guess I got to talk about him a tiny bit to make the thumbnail count, but yeah, also, something that he does say here is, I'm not interested in becoming the next lead performer, because they're talking about if Queen died, who would it be? And, you know, with the fact that we now know he's in Sword and is planning to betray Kaido, you know, it's very cool just knowing how he thinks and stuff. Or not knowing how he thinks, but knowing why he says certain stuff. Next is Sasaki, and I have the least to say about him. He gives me the impression of an ogre or some sort of monster. He's got a sword, obviously, some golden horns, which is pretty cool. I like his design a lot. His opening line, it stuck with me more because it's interesting, not actually because it tells me much about his personality, but it's just, Kaido said this was urgent, and when he says urgent, that can only mean one thing. I don't know what he's on about there, since I'm pretty sure Kaido called them there to meet Big Mom, so yeah, but I don't have much to say about him. He's pretty cool. I feel like Oda introduced these guys to be like the main threats to the Straw Hats, you know, the ones that aren't going to obviously fight the lead performers, so not the Demon Trio. And now that Jinbei's here, I guess he can fight Jack. But if Frankie's not going to fight Queen, like I don't think he will, he could, I guess, fight Sasaki. That could be quite a cool fight. Usopp maybe could fight Page 1. I'm not really sure about that. Nobby vs Ulti maybe. Robin vs Black Marie. Then we got Who's Who and Drake left, and Who's Who vs Brook could potentially go down. So that would leave Drake to fight. Who's left? Oh, Drake vs Chopper. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work. But I like these guys. Yeah, they're definitely entertaining, and I'm interested to see more about them. This chapter definitely feels like we're getting into it a lot more now that we're out of the flashback. You know, it feels back to like normal One Piece, if that makes sense. Again, not saying the flashback wasn't good, it was amazing, just saying, you know, it felt a bit out of the ordinary. I rate this chapter probably like an 8 out of 10, I guess. I did enjoy it quite a bit. it was alright. I liked it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and I'll see you next time. Bye.